Hey y'all, remember how last lesson we focused on adverbs and how they're the happiest and most wonderful part of language? Well, guess what? Lesson 2, more adverbs! Can life get any better than this? Now, in the last lesson, we looked at adverbs and clarified what they do, which is describe verbs mainly. Wow, that scary metal guy runs quickly. But also that they describe adjectives. That scary metal guy is quite competitive. They can even describe other adverbs on occasion. The scary metal guy runs incredibly fast. Fast, by the way, is both an adjective and an adverb. So if I say Bob is fast, then fast is describing Bob. And so that's an adjective. But if I say Bob runs fast, then fast is describing run and is therefore an adverb, just so you know. So let's explore some categories of adverb. You may wonder why adverbs have to belong to categories. Does that even help me learn English? Well, it can help because categories organize what appears at first sight to be just random information. Think about all the insects of the world, for example. The first thing I think of when I think insects are creepy things like cockroaches and whatnot. But somebody else might point out, hey, not all insects are creepy. Butterflies, for example, are beautiful and make us think happy thoughts. And we even have tourist attractions like in Michoacan to go see butterflies. So there you have two categories right there. Creepy insects and not creepy insects. We also have categories that refer to the kind of communication that you want to make. So seeing which adverbs belong to one category or another can help you make quicker decisions when you're out in the real world trying to talk to someone. They can kind of help you to program your mind so that you don't get stuck thinking too hard about it in any moment of important communication.
Thank you. Whoa!
Sometimes you want to explain how something is different from something else. Or sometimes you want to express the opposite, how two things are the same. On other occasions, you want to express how certain you are about something. So it's nice to have more than just one adverb to choose from. It really does help to have that variety. Imagine a diet where you choose only one food from each of the 5 food groups. And every day of your life, you eat only that one food from each of the 5 food groups. You know, that's a bad analogy though, because I can't imagine that. I would do cheese on the dairy groups, and then I would have like a big slab of steak for the meat, and of course French fries, for the vegetables. I guess I would go with grapes, seedless grapes for the fruit, and then for like the bread kind of things, I would just do donuts or maybe saltine crackers. Yeah, that last one, donuts or saltines, that's a toss-up. So I could live like that if I had to, easily. But we do need a variety of adverbs. We'll just die if we don't have them. And just to be clear, this is not exclusively an English thing. We have these categories in Spanish as well. So in the same way, it's helpful to reflect on what you know about how your own language works, and then ask yourself, does what I'm seeing here correspond with what we do in English as well? So what are we looking at here in lesson 2? Well, first we've got these little flabberjabbers. Adverbs of emphasis. Nearly all adverbs emphasize in one way or another. But these we can use when we're talking about a group of people or things, and then we focus on one person or thing in that group to draw someone's attention directly to that. In the lesson 1 video, for example, I showed you these guys, and then I pointed to this guy in particular. Similarly, I can use these adverbs to focus on something in a way that makes it more important than other related things. For example,
The ring yearns above all else to return to the hand of its master.
so the ring wants to do lots of evil things, but that's the thing it wants most to do.
Specifically reminded her. Bedside table. On the kangaroo.
Okay, so maybe he left a lot of instructions and somebody screwed up. Can happen to any one of us. But
Specifically reminded her. Bedside table. On the kangaroo.
we've all been there. What about these? Adverbs of affirmation. Now this is another way to emphasize something, but by suggesting that it's impossible to logically see it any other way.
It's not a date. It's definitely not a date.
Obviously, we don't want you doing anything with your hands other than holding on for dear life.
The photograph was undoubtedly authentic.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
So those are a couple of examples. Or you can use these to suggest that the evidence for your point is compelling.
What did you think about the ride?
It was great. And apparently, I've never been on live television before. Apparently, sometimes I don't watch the news because I'm a kid, and apparently Grandpa just gives me the remote after we watch the Powerball.
It's the Powerball.
Tell me about the ride. What did you think about the ride?
Well, it was great.
Why?
Because apparently you're spinning around, and apparently every time you get dizzy,
Yeah?
that's all you do is get dizzy.
Is it fun?
Yeah. And I've never ever been on live television. I never ever be on live television.
Are you excited?
Yeah, and apparently I only went down the super slide. When I went down the one, I was scared half to death. I just freak out.
Now there's an example of what it sounds like to use an adverb over and over again. Now it sounds cute coming out of a kid that's 5 years old, but you can easily see how it's important to have a variety of adverbs up here ready to go in a moment like this or any other moment where you might need it. Now these adverbs are normally positioned in one of two places. For example, clearly French fries taste better than broccoli. Or we can put the adverb between the subject and the verb, so as to say French fries clearly taste better than broccoli. And you know that's true. What about these? These adverbs of comment. In fact, what does that even mean? I mean, isn't everything that we do in a language a comment of some sort? So why would you name a category an adverb of comment? Well, there are ways that we can express an entire comment in just one word. Sometimes just sharing a fact is not enough. For example, I won't see her again. Do I have any feelings about that? If so, what feelings? So these adverbs can help us convey how we feel about a fact that we're mentioning in just one word. They usually go right at the beginning of a sentence, followed by a comma. For instance, unfortunately, I won't see her again. Or, thankfully, I won't see her again. Or how about, sadly, my hair doesn't like to cooperate. Or, amazingly, I passed my English exam. I'm awesome. We have another category here, adverbs for comparing. Now these are adverbs that we use to express that the two things are similar in some way.
Similarly, on your planet, I look like you.
Then there was a lot about the dude that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And a lot about where he lived, likewise.
Like that. Or I could say, just like squirrels, skunks have a fluffy tail. Surely that's got to be good for something. On the flip side, however, we have adverbs for contrasting. These are words that help you to explain that two things are not the same. For instance, while skunks have a fluffy tail just like squirrels, nobody likes skunks because they smell awful. Or this.
Sooner rather than later, I hope.
Have you ever wondered, why is there something rather than nothing?
Oh, and about this word rather. Rather is kind of tricky because it can mean a variety of things. As an adverb, it can mean three different things. When we see rather than, just like we saw in the example, it means en vez de. So a en vez de b, for example. However, when rather is followed by an adjective, it means bastante. Some dolls are rather creepy. When used with a verb on the right side and would on the left side, rather means preferiría.
I would rather share one lifetime with you than face all the ages of this world alone.
Yeah. Que tierno. So there we have a brief overview of the 5 categories of adverb covered in Lesson 2. There are many other categories that could be explored, but there are many other days of our lives as well. Practice with these for the time being, and as always, just have fun with it and make it worth it for you. See you next time. Have a good one.